but I loved it. I mean, I'm a man of many colours.
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah. I do not care. I don't care. And even today,
I just want you to
stop
know.
listening. No, they're gone. They're left. It's still, I would say, in the top 5 worst moments of my life ever.
At one point you said, I think I'm dying. Like,
little children.
little boys.
And right, we've got to stop it. Stop talking
Sorry.
about boys.
Sorry.
And welcome
to
another
chat
order.
about it.
Alright, use 2 words there. Alright, yeah. Welcome to another episode of Chat
We
About
fucked it.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a good way to start.
Is what it is. You know, make me look like an idiot straight away.
Yeah. Well,
Fantastic.
this episode is going to be about 3 things: our Birmingham weekends away, our Aston Villa experience, and no.
Go on.
I thought you remembered.
No, go on. You've got it in front of you, mate.
I went blank.
He's got it in front of him. He doesn't even know.
Which one is it?
It is our best TV series
TV
of
series
all time.
of all time. How have I forgotten that?
We
Nonsense.
literally just discussed this.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly.
It goes through the head, mate.
We had a practice. We smashed it. Look what he's done.
Anyway.
Terrible. Not
Yeah,
good.
So, we, I think we ended up going to Birmingham, like, basically these weekends away, we just literally just went there to get pissed, essentially, didn't we? And it was actually really, I've got to rate Birmingham for their nightlife, because it actually was really fun.
Well, I think it's because what you got to remember is we went to Birmingham when our friends were at uni. We were working in the city at the time, and but we were working in the city, and it was kind of like a release from
we were finding deals, hotel deals, for £15 a
disgusting.
night. £15 a night. The hotel wasn't even that bad, and it was central. We got a train for a return ticket from London to Birmingham, Birmingham to London, for about, I think, 40 to 30 quid each. The drinks were cheap. Everything was just dirt cheap. So it was just a really sort of fun and good weekend, a good excuse to see your mate from uni.
And you know it was? Every single time we went, I felt like, because however many we went on, us two were always there. Yeah. Every single time we went there, it got like bigger and better. And like the first time we went, it was just me and you. We stayed like this tiny little hotel room, and then we weren't even that close to the clubs or anything. And I remember you kept on going on about it. There was one curry house we went to, which was in this little car park.
Yeah,
you loved it. You loved it.
It was the most bizarre. It was called Regards.
Oh, of course you remembered.
And it was it was bizarre because it was basically in the middle of an estate. It was a bit dodgy, weren't it? Like
but it was
in the middle
quite
of a car park. But I loved it. I mean, I'm a man of many curries. No, I love curries, man.
I thought you were going to say I'm an advocate for Regards or something like that, but
many curries.
Yeah, of course. That's very good, mate.
We have many good memories in Birmingham. So shout out to
it's
any
definitely
viewers from Birmingham.
Yeah,
nightlife is sick.
It's very good. We took a liking to a certain club that used to be called Gatecrasher, now under the name of Prism. Big fans of that.
How did you know that?
Because we have friends that went to uni, and this is what they used to do, right? They'll like this. They used to go Gatecrasher or something like that. Like that's what they used to do. They used to love it.
We're moving on.
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah. I do not care. I don't care. And neither do they.
I just want you to
stop
know.
listening. No, they're gone. They're left.
Oh,
They've
okay.
gone.
Well, anyway.
Yes.
So Gatecrasher. No.
One of the worst things that I still to this very day have not forgiven Samuel Escorabanos. I have not forgiven him.
What did I do?
I went to the loo, right? I came back.
What did I do?
No, we were at a bar before going out.
Oh.
Yes. Very funny, right? We're at this shop bar. Vodka Revs, I think it was.
Oh, it's great.
I went to the loo, I've come back, and Sam goes, alright, I've ordered you a strawberry. I think I did ask you to order me a strawberry.
Well, no, we were getting shots. There was a paddle of shots, and we got the nice ones because you don't like alcohol, basically. So,
anyway, I just go, you know what? I don't know why, but these guys aren't drinking shots. So I go, alright, yeet, and I do the first. I did the first shot really quickly.
Oh my god.
And it's still, I would say, in the top 5 worst moments of my life ever, because it was a chili vodka. And it was the most vulgar thing. It's not made to be drunk. It's disgusting.
I think this is a direct quote. At one point you said, "I think I'm dying." Like, that was ridiculous.
It's like, the only way I can explain it, it's like drinking like vodka with blades in it. Like, it was so bad.
It was good fun.
It was so bad. And then I obviously realised why you lot weren't doing your shots,
of
because
course.
You all knew that you were doing this to me, and it's just not very nice.
Well, it's banter, mate, innit?
Yeah.
Bit of banter.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've done worse to me. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Maybe that's a story for another day.
Yeah. And one of the things that happened in Birmingham as well, we just so happened, it was just a weekend that we were going, the person that we were going with, he knew someone who could get tickets to a football game, seeing as we're football lads.
Football, I was going to say hooligans, we're not football hooligans.
Football boys? No, that's a bit too...
Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so we got tickets, and it just so happened to be the derby, Aston Villa versus Wolves.
And what a game.
And Wolves in that particular season were dominating the championship. Both just for your relevance, both teams were in the championship at that point.
And that was the season that Wolves eventually won the league.
Yeah, that was and what a game, Sam.
What was it?
I mean,
4-1?
we have been Arsenal fans since kids, little children,
little boys.
And right, we've got stop it. Stop talking about boys.
Sorry.
Oh my god. And so with that, we went to the game, and I'm not joking. For 90 minutes, I was a villain. I was an absolute Aston Villa fan.
Honestly, it was
the atmosphere was so good, wasn't it?
And I think it's because as well we were sitting right next to the Wolves fans, and like when
I don't know if there's a really good dynamic about sitting virtually quite close to the away fans. There's so much comedy value.
I'd never really done it before, and I just feel that it was weird as well, because 3 of us were supporting Villa and 1 of us was supporting Wolves.
Yeah, but not really. Yeah, but he had to be careful, didn't he? But what was quite funny is that Aston Villa went 2-0 down.
Wow.
So Aston
Villa's a we now.
Wolves were 2-0 up, right? Was that right? And then didn't the game finish 4-2?
No. I don't remember exactly what happened.
Oh, anyway, we went down, didn't we? Aston Villa went down.
It was 1-0 to Villa, and 1-0 to Wolves, and I think Villa just did an absolute madness. They just tore it apart.
Considering my expectations were so low, especially like walking into the stadium, like the actual inside area, I thought, wow, this is really ancient.
I think because of what we're used to.
Yeah, I guess at Emirates, yeah. Well,
but it was a sort of game where, like, we loved it at the time. We were non-stop talking about on the way back to the hotel, and then when we got back to the hotel, the first thing we did was let's see the highlights of the game. And then there was one thing which I think we came running into your room and we're like, you've got to watch this. For the 4th goal, there was this geezer who took his shirt off and was running down the crowd, swinging his top around. Like, it was hilarious. And I just think, like, for example, I would never have gone to an Arsenal game, no game where the atmosphere would have been that good. And I just think that from an outsider's point of view, it's amazing to experience.
Well, what you also got to bear in mind is that obviously it's a derby game, so that rivalry there really would really edge people on, they're sort of really good sort of days out. They're really fun. Anyone that hasn't been to Birmingham has just got absolutely no idea what we're going on about.
Honestly, I mean, I'd recommend it. I think it's definitely a good weekend away. I mean, we were only there for 2-3 days at a time. That was enough, I think, because I think we exhausted ourselves. We did. Do you remember we went? So another friend of ours, we went go-karting, and
so for context, Friday night we get to Birmingham, went out
straight away.
Saturday morning we do indoor go-karting.
Yeah, and we had a friend. I think we must have had breakfast at the hotel. And we have a friend who wasn't the biggest fan of go-karting in the first place. I think he did two laps. And then he was outside, and then, to put it politely, He saw his breakfast again.
He was exporting, yeah.
Exporting, yeah, very
Copying
good.
and pasting.
Yeah, very good. And then I think when we were going to go out for lunch that day, and we got this. I think did you do a food challenge or something, which was stupid. We went to this place that does ridiculous portions.
Oh my god, yeah.
Ridiculous portions of food.
It was an American place, but again, like I just don't feel like there's many places like that in London where the portion is just mental.
It was a sort of place that I looked at the menu and I felt full up. like it was awful. And then we got back to the hotel and we could see where our friend had been because there was a tray.
He also copied and pasted.
He copied and pasted in the doorway up to where our room was, and it wasn't very late.
It's so funny.
It was very good.
What a legend that man is.
What a lad. What a lad.
So yeah,
I know who you are.
Sorry if this is becoming a bit of a lad podcast, but we're just going through some stories, and I thought that was quite relevant to one of our stories.
Bit nostalgic then.
Let's get into our
the main topic.
TV programs.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk about this because I feel like TV shows don't, some of them can't run forever. Well, they can't run forever.
Are we going worldwide then, yeah? We're doing worldwide, okay. We're doing UK?
No, we'll go worldwide. But when I say the most popular TV series ever, let's say, obviously it's your personal opinion, but I'm gonna throw some things at you, mate. So right. So you've got no particular order. Big Bang Theory. How I Met Your Mother.
Did you?
Friends.
Yeah.
Or I Have Met Your Mother, but yeah. Friends. Seinfeld. Only Fools and Horses.
Seinfeld?
That's popular in...
Right, I don't know what that is.
Popular in the US, mate. Well, out of that list, there's one that comes to mind straight away. I know you're a big fan of it.
Yeah.
Friends.
Is that a joke?
What?
Is that a joke?
What?
No, my number one all time is Only Fools.
No, I'm not saying that's my favourite. Right. I'm just saying I know you're a big fan of Friends.
Yeah, I'm okay with Friends. Yeah, Friends is just like, if you haven't watched it, like...
But it's the sort of thing. It's the sort of thing. Like I actually am rewatching it now. I think I've just run out of things to watch. I'm rewatching Friends, but it is the sort of thing where I reckon everyone knows someone who relates to one of the characters.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like there's many TV shows where that would happen. And with regards to what I said, like with How I Met Your Mother, do you think that's just Friends recreated?
It is essentially. It's quite interesting actually. I saw an article on Friends. The producer said how she has regrets that she didn't make it more diverse, which is quite interesting. At the same time, would it have been as successful if they used different characters? Sometimes it doesn't work. You're doing things just to make it diverse. Sometimes that's a good idea. Sometimes it just doesn't actually work. Like in what was the one planet? What was the planet one? You said
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. You've got a range of different nationalities there, so
and it's interesting with the Big Bang Theory because
that works, is what I'm saying. That diverse cast works.
It does not. I completely understand what you mean, but I think that sort of show where they're talking about, like, if you told me, oh, this show's about science, and like I wouldn't care. I literally, like, do you know what I mean? I have no interest in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched the whole Big Bang Theory like 2 or 3 times. So there's obviously, there is a humorous aspect to it. There is, the diversity, which I think not many TV shows have, especially such as Friends, which is, a lot of people probably would say is maybe the most iconic TV series ever.
Yeah.
I think everyone's watched Friends.
No, exactly. I think everyone has watched Friends. It's sort of like a universal language of, like, how you doing and all that nonsense.
Don't talk to me like that.
Oh. I thought we were alright. I thought we were on that.
But you said Only Fools, and we've mentioned that in the previous pod.
Only Fools, I know it might be a bit too old for people, like a bit too classic, but for me, it's just completely timeless. Like, for example, he's in the dentist, and Del Boy says to the dentist, he goes, "Oh, how long is this going to take? Because I've got my my little brother in the van." And then the dentist pulls out a little needle and says, "Just a little prick." And then Del Boy says, "You know him then?" Yeah. Like, it's just every time you know exactly what's going to be said, and you laugh every time. It's absolute perfect writing, perfect acting, and for me that is just perfection because I know I can watch that at any time and it will cheer me up and it will give me that escapism, because essentially that's what we're talking about. With TV programmes, it does offer you a really comfortable place to go to, especially if you're upset or if you've had a tough time. I know for a fact I can rely on that, and that's why, for me, that's my favourite, because I just feel like, well, you've just smashed it. You just absolutely smashed it.
I have a question for you, and this question is, no shame in saying it, we both saw Only Fools in theatre, which I thought was very good.
Oh yeah.
Do you think a series such as Friends could be portrayed in that way?
Yeah, I do. Sorry about that. Don't know why Siri got involved there. Do I think? Yeah, definitely. I mean, Broadway could definitely do something like that, I'm sure. I mean, it's very difficult. The only criticism I can have is that I don't think, even in Only Fools and Horses, the musical, I thought it was really good, but they're definitely not the same level as the acting. Not. Because that's what made it for me. I mean, seeing like Nicholas Lyndhurst as Rodney, I mean, he everything he did was perfect for that particular role. Yeah.
Even if like you see in Nicholas Lyndhurst in the news or whatever, you think Rodney or you Clunker or something like that. Yeah. Like it, and even like I had a teacher who if someone did something wrong, he'd go, "What are you doing, Rodney?" Like I just thought it was so funny, crap me up. But no, like for me, like my personal favourite is the same as yours. It is Only Fools and Horses.
Oh, yes, right. I didn't know that was yours. But who knows?
But I think the general consensus of this question would be, I think the answer would be Friends, or maybe How I Met Your Mother.
What you mean if like just 1,000 people are in a room and you said favourite comedy?
I personally think that purely because there is, I think, a relatability factor to, you go to coffee with your friends or you go to the bar with your friends, and you might have, not everyone does, but in a friendship group, two people might have a relationship and then they break up and it gets awkward. Like there's that in both of them, which is why I asked, do you think it was just a remake? I personally think that it was just like a modernised version. Yeah. And there are actually episodes, I mean, I can't name off the top of my head, but there are actually episodes which make me think like this is exactly the same. So I think if you're gonna name Friends as the best ever, I think you have to put How I Met Your Mother there. Yeah. Got there in the end in the same conversation, because I think it is just a modernised version of an older show. Yeah. Yeah. No, I guess that's a fair valuation of it, to be honest with you. I agree with what you're saying. I think at the end of the day, that has always been very, very well mentioned, Friends. I mean, it has essentially defined their careers as it has with Only Fools and How I Met Your Mother and Big Bang Theory. It's defined their careers because of the size of the show. Once you get to that level, you're always going to be. I mean, even Jennifer Aniston, she's had a smashing career, probably the best career out of all of them. But I think if you see her, you think that's Rachel from Friends. Yeah, it's still Rachel. Yeah, of course. And have you heard some of the money that they got for that? It's outrageous. Like towards the end, I think she was getting like $1 million per episode. Yeah, it's mental. Well, quite frankly, I think they deserve it. I think they're very talented. That's okay. They're talented. It's a lot of money per episode. It is, but if the show's making a lot of money, then they owed it, aren't they? I mean, look how much it's probably made over the. Well, that's what I'm saying. Perhaps it could be the most successful in terms of money earned for a production company, let's say. Yeah. Probably is the most successful in that sense. But then you've got to think, Friends ran over a course of 10 years. How many TV series run over 10 years? Yeah. Not that many. In the comments, guys, leave your most favourite TV series. And tell us your thoughts on what we've said. If you think we're completely wrong, you can rip into us all you want. If you think we're right, that's perfect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think what I did actually just want to touch on before we wrap up is the Aaron Hernandez documentary. Yeah. 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 Should we just talk about that briefly? Can do. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that doc. Tell me why you're a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of it because it talks about it's not one of them documentaries where it's like this person did this and they're a bad person because of that. It talks about how he had a troubled childhood. He was effectively bullied by his dad, and then that in turn drove him to do the homosexuality thing, which he then kept quite closed in. Then became a fantastic American football player, and then what happened later on with the whole trial and everything like that only happened because he was so good at American football. When he went into all these, crunching tackles, messed up his head and messed up his brain. And I forgot what it was that they called it, but it's quite a common thing. They said, it's a growing thing within American football.
Yeah, it's a type of brain damage, isn't it, from the trauma. I mean, I find it quite interesting from a psychological point of view when you look at a troubled background, a troubled childhood. It tends to go one way or the other, doesn't it? It tends to really it can either motivate someone to really be successful, or it goes this way where it sort of goes down an avenue which may be no good, and he doesn't. I know he did some horrible things, and I'm not making any excuses for him, but it is sad to see how that sort of background really sort of defined him.
Yeah.
Because I guess I can sort of like relate to it in a way that, traumatic things that happen to you. I mean, he lived with his auntie, didn't he, for a lot of his childhood as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he moved away because he couldn't deal with it, basically.
And then having a huge limelight, which I can imagine a huge limelight of being all of a sudden thrown into an American football team and being the main guy. Yeah. He was on silly money as well.
He was on silly money, and he very quickly, you said, became the main guy, and all this attention was on him, which he loved. But then I think, in a way, he very quickly didn't want that attention. He just wanted to live a quiet life. But I mean, he didn't necessarily help himself with the crowds that he was in.
Yeah.
But I do feel that I think there was a situation where there was a conversation he had with his mum, and he would just switch on the phone. So they'd be having a nice conversation, and all of a sudden he'd be swearing at her, be telling her, "I'd never want to talk to you again."
Yeah.
And then a week later, they're absolutely fine. And it's just that mental thing.
It was, it is sort of like so I'm just searching here. The actual doc is called Killer Inside.
Yeah.
The Mind of Aaron Hernandez. So if you do want to watch that, give it a watch and let us know what you think. Or if you have watched it, let us know what you think. And I think that's it for this week.
I mean, I was going to say as well, if there's any documentaries that you want us to discuss, or any topics in particular that you feel would be good on the Chat About It podcast, then feel free to drop it in the comments, and it's something that we'll definitely have a chat about.
Yeah, as you can tell, guys, like every episode we're just trying something new, different. I mean, to be honest with you, me and Sam can talk about virtually anything.
Really.
We're best mates, aren't we, mate?
We are. It's beautiful.
Disgusting. Right. So we're going to leave our lovely viewers. Please leave a lovely like. Samuel.
Please share.
Please share, and please subscribe. Leave us a nice review on iTunes and Spotify. And then you can just go about your normal day because you've done it. That's it.
And you're a legend for doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Simple as.
Yeah. All right. So thank you for listening. Be lucky.
And we'll see you when you're older.